What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the 1% podcast, another solo podcast. It is a little bit later in the day than I normally do these, to be honest. So, well, it's late for me. It's like 7 p.m. Got a beautiful ring light set up, and this is kind of the last solo podcast of the photo shoot prep. So, if you've been following me on Instagram, you'll know exactly what's going on. But obviously only over the last 2 weeks, nothing massive has changed, if I'm completely honest. But going into this week, so we're now at Wednesday. Ever since Sunday or Monday, I've definitely just crashed. Not like horrifically. Like, what the good thing about this prep has been is that I know that I can push harder, like way harder, which is good because obviously this time around we don't need to get into stage condition. We just need to get lean. And like, if you're watching, I'm all right. I'm pretty good. So yeah. So yes, nothing massive has changed over the last 2 weeks, but all of a sudden, just again, about 14 weeks of dieting has just hit me now, sort of thing. I haven't had any meals off track. I have weighed everything to the gram. I've never missed a meal. I've never missed a training session, never missed a cardio session, everything. I've hit everything on the money. And I've said in previous podcasts that I'm just training a lot smarter now. I can generally sit and call myself an athlete now. Back to almost my kayaking days, I can call myself an athlete. Again, the way that I've approached this from a mindset point of view, and again, like many of you know, that I've approached this with a very different mindset. So yes. Anyway, what I want to do with this, I've got a few notes written down. Purely, actually, clients wanted to know some stuff. So I've written down a few things that I want to talk about. So I'll start with, because we're talking about prep right now. So this prep, why has it been different? So why has it been different for me? I think there's a lot of factors. So the biggest one is obviously moving abroad and actually having my own place. I've moved to Dubai because many of you know that I wanted a better environment and I wanted to change the scenery. Obviously, being fully online coaching, it doesn't matter where I am in the world, but I've put myself in an environment around people that are very successful, you want to call it like that I see them as successful. And I've put myself in, many of you know, like this Dubai, right? It's Dubai. That's where success is. So yes, and that the environment's been everything. And this has allowed me to form very good routines, relationships, habits. I've surrounded myself with very good people that train hard, and having an off season with Cam, very short off season, it showed massively in this dieting phase. I've gone into this dieting phase with the very strict mentality of avoiding kind of sweeteners, keeping food very simple. I haven't even had food cravings. I'm hungry, of course, that's normal, but I have had literally no food cravings. Like all this sort of stuff. And it's just from a self-development point of view, working on my anxiety, journaling, structuring out my days differently. When am I most productive? All this sort of stuff. So that's kind of like the biggest things that I've learned hugely. So that's probably why it's been different to all the others, because those factors have been in a much better place. So yeah, that's that. I could ramble on for ages about that, but I'm not going to, so it's cool. And this comes down to a few of my clients have come into asking the question that they're caring what people think and they're worried what people think. And don't get me wrong, I've been there. And sometimes I still do, of course. Like I'm like, oh, but that's normal. That is normal. I think we're all going to think that some days. But if you do that every day of your life, you are royally fucked. If you care what people think, you are living your life on other people's terms, and you are not living to the life that you want to live, and you're not being true to yourself. Because I've been there, when you try and morph into someone else or something else because that seems better and it seems like they're doing better than you, it will not last long, because you are not happy, you're not enjoying what you're doing day-to-day life. And even when it comes down to the gym, like, at the end of the day, everyone's going into the gym to better themselves, because we all have our own insecurity, we all have our own things that we want to work on. So everyone's feeling exactly the same most of the time in the gym. And a lot of the time, like, people are like, oh, you know, it's for aesthetic reasons and things like that. And I'm like, I feel like my training and many other people's training has gone far past aesthetics. Like aesthetics is just kind of like the byproduct. And it's nice to look good. Like, it's absolutely fine to think that. It's absolutely fine. If you look good, you're gonna feel good. It's that simple. So, but it goes so much deeper than that. It goes so much deeper than that. It goes down into the self-development world. It goes down to waking up and prioritizing yourself and your health and all this sort of stuff. So if you're caring what people think, you're only putting own limitations on your own life. That's the biggest thing. Sometimes you relate it to it, and a couple of parents have asked me or said that they're worrying what people think. And my biggest thing is, I'm like, are these people going to put food on your table for your kids? Are they going to put a roof over your head for your kids? Are they going to do all this sort of stuff? Are they going to pay the water bills, the electricity bills? Are they going to look after your health for you? Are they going to support you, guide you? The answer is no, they're not. They're not going to earn money for you and give it to you. They're not going to build a business for you. They're not going to get into good shape for you. So why does it matter? Why does it matter what they think? This is your life. And it's literally that simple. It's the same as like caring what someone thinks. I'm like, let them care. If they care so much about your life, just go, thank you so much for paying such a big interest into my life. I've had that. I've had quite a few kind of snarky comments put on me over the last few weeks. And I'm like, I'm so glad that you care about my life that much to send me that message. Thank you so much for taking time out your day to send me a beautiful little message like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. That's what it comes down to. And some days I do, don't get me wrong. When sometimes you have those days of self-doubt and, you know, or it's normal, but let it go and move on. It's very, very simple. And I hope that kind of gives you a bit of clarity on it, because I promise it's not a nice thing. It takes time, but please, just living by other people's means is just, it's an end game. So it's cool. I've kind of tapped on like the environment and things like that, put myself into a good environment. That's the other point that I had. But I want to talk about the love of the game. And I think this is I probably wasn't even dead center. This is something that I'm loving coaching, and I'm loving bodybuilding, aesthetics training, whatever you want to call it. I'm loving this stuff more and more every day. I want to go to bed at 8 p.m. because I want to perform better the next day. I want to wake up early and work. I want to do all this sort of stuff, and I absolutely adore it. I do. I generally adore it. It's a very isolating, quite lonely world, because a lot of time I'm spending it on my own. But do you know what? I wouldn't change that for the world, because the people that I do have around with me is amazing. Like, I like having the opportunity to do a photo shoot, then 2 days later fly back to the UK, live with a client, prep her for her first show. Then we're going to be living in London, potentially prepping her for potentially a British finals, then prepping her again for a Miami Pro show, and 2 other clients are getting on that Miami Pro. Like, to have that and just to go and fly wherever I want, and it means so much. It really does, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely adore it. And to work with people that generally teach me so much as well is absolutely mind-blowing. And I love my own training. I love just trying to get 1% better every day. And again, that's the biggest reason why this podcast is called that. Like, I just want to do like if someone said to me, Brandon, where do you want to be in 5 years' time? And I'll be like, honestly, doing the same thing I am now, but just potentially 500% better. Do you know what I mean? And that's literally it. It's like, what am I doing day-to-day life to get better? The same as yesterday, but a little bit better tomorrow. And that's all it comes down to. So I absolutely adore this. I adore the structure, the meals, the habits, and I love it. I love it. So yeah. Anyway, that's kind of what I just want to tap onto. Like, and I think you can transfer this into kind of anything in your life, right? Like, it takes time to find what you want to do, and who knows if I'm going to be doing this in 3-5 years time, potentially 2 years time. I will be in the fitness realm because that's all what I've done, and I adore fitness. But if you love something, go and do it, because you will find a way of making it work. Because if you love something and you're getting up every day, it will work out for you. I promise you that. I promise you that. And when you get deeper into it, and money and all this sort of stuff, it means nothing. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, you can have, I love living a minimalistic life. Like, I've got a studio apartment, there's not much in here, like, and I absolutely love having this minimalistic life. And yeah, that's that. My brain's in like diet mode, so apologies if this, I keep these ones raw. I like these ones raw. So apologies if this came out a bit random, but that's kind of all I wanted to tap into today. So yes, anyway, going back to prep a little bit, just to kind of give you an update. Since yesterday, we pulled cardio. So I only did 20 minutes of cardio yesterday. Today, cardio got pulled because I dropped 2 kilos overnight. And then I'm sending pictures to Cam every day, and we're assessing what we need to do on that day. So that's literally it. So I think what we said today was, because I dropped 2 kilos overnight, what we're potentially going to do tomorrow and Friday is just run 2 higher food days, and then Saturday pull back to baseline. And I've got a really early shoot on Sunday, so the shoot's at 7 a.m. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But I'm happy because I look best in the morning, which is cool. I've just got my back waxed. I'm just doing all the pampering stuff now. So I got my back and feet done, which was nice. I didn't get my feet waxed, I just got them pedicured. So I got all that done. Sports massages for the next 2 days. We'll do a posterior session tomorrow on my back, just to flush everything through, get some deep tissue work on that. And then on Friday, we'll do the exactly same on the front of my body. So quads, pecs, biceps, shoulders, things like that. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. The only thing that training has changed this week is obviously we're not training legs on Friday. We are training delts and biceps now. And that's literally it. That's literally it. Saturday, we'll have a complete rest day. It'll probably be minimal steps. It'll be my feet up, watching Netflix. And I'm glad I've got this little sofa now, which is cool. You can see, look, I'm in pajama bottoms already. I'm just playing it smart on top. But yeah, got a little sofa, which my landlord was awesome enough to furnish the apartment with, which is good, but it makes it a bit more snug. But anyway, guys, I've rambled a little bit too long for this one. So hope that was some little pinches of salt you can take away from this solo podcast. And probably the next podcast is going to be me back in the UK, which will be great. And I'm excited to do that. So yes, everybody, I will love you and leave you. Just focus every day on becoming 1% better. Have a good one.